Well, fuck.
Fuck.
It cut off, and we're not just going to end this segment like The Sopranos and just mid-sentence cut it off.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep it real with you. Oh, Michael Jackson big. That's what we were ending on.
Yeah.
Go stream him. He still has 30 million. Oh, you were asking about where does all his money
go?
So
what? So, like, obviously he gets all these streams, and, like,
yeah.
he's obviously hasn't been alive for a fucking while.
So it goes to his estate.
I'm joking.
No.
What do you mean his estate?
It goes to his estate. So he sets up where he wants everything to go in his will. So it's mainly going to be like his kids and shit like that.
Most likely.
So the same money that would be written out to Michael Jackson is going to be written out to the estate of Michael Jackson, and whoever is legally able to claim that would be able to. Speaking of that, one little quick tidbit. You know that song by Lil Peep and is the name Lil Peep?
Well,
that is the name, right?
Well, yeah, Lil Peep.
I didn't listen to him. I don't mean to disrespect him, of course. And then X.
Yeah, X.
It's falling down. That song, whatever. Apparently some guy wrote that rhythm or whatever the fuck they used. And they are suing them.
Really?
But the weird thing about it, I only bring it up because we just talked about the whole estate thing, is usually when you see those lawsuits, it says they're suing the estates of these people. So like when Sting and Juice WRLD, I think that was after Juice WRLD died when they sued him for Lucid Dreams. I don't know. But it was to the estate. So usually you sue the estate if they're already passed away, but you need to claim your money. They are suing them as if they were still alive.
So they're suing like
they are
X
suing
directly.
X and Lil Peep directly. So one, that's either gonna, I don't know if that was just miswritten in the couple reports I was reading, or if legally they made a no-no.
So they're gonna revive him. They're gonna go give him CPR, revive him, and be like, "Hey, sorry, you got this lawsuit."
So I was originally laughing about it because I'm like, that's just. I was a journalism major, so I was like, that's a weird way of wording it. They fucked up. Then I was like, oh, maybe the lawyers fucked up, and now they're suing people who are dead, and they're not gonna win their case because they're dead. But my boy from class, the one who was actually originally telling me about this, he put up like this crazy conspiracy in my mind, and I just had to bring it up.
Okay.
He's like, what if they're suing them directly because they're still alive?
You think so?
I absolutely. There was a video of X getting fucking drilled.
Yeah.
I don't believe any of those type of conspiracies, in my opinion. I always like to joke, and I never doubt.
Tupac's alive.
That whole Suge thing makes me question it, though. The whole Suge Knight Jr.'s Instagram, like,
that's what I'm saying.
got taken over. That shit was crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
I would love for any of that to be true, but I don't think it is.
I don't think it is. That's some.
But it's just like once he said that, I was like, why did you have to say that? Because now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I do enjoy listening new conspiracy theories all the time.
Oh yeah,
so that's another one that kind of adds to like the thought. That's a shower thought.
I hate conspiracy theories because so many of them are so loose and just thrown at the wall.
But the ones that are like legitimate,
and then the ones who catch my mind, I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Well, like the whole Gabby Petito thing. We won't get into it very in depth, but that.
Yeah, we don't have any crazy inside knowledge.
I mean, but that shit was pretty fucking crazy. I mean, like I remember I was reading up on it a lot because I was really interested in this whole like. Obviously, rest in peace, Gabby Petito.
Right.
May her soul rest in peace. Nobody deserves to go through the shit that she had to go through at the end of her life. So my condolences to the family, but. The entire story is just fucking insane. Yeah.
No, I mean, I remember following along with it, and it just got like that eerie feel to it.
Yeah, more than anything, it's very creepy. Imagine like, for example, I like to look at it from all points of view, and one point of view that I thought was very interesting is like, if I'm looking at it from the parents' point of view, right? My daughter goes off with her fiance, right, on a road trip, right? They do their thing, go whatever, and only he comes back, and then he's like, oh, like we ask him where she is, and just nothing.
Yeah, that is weird.
And then all of a sudden he goes missing, but the family didn't report him, the fiance missing for 2 days. So he had those 2 days to escape. Right. So that whole thing is, I'm like, wow, like there's some
a lot of weird shit going behind it. But like, okay, so obviously, like you said, never want to hear that happen to anyone. Condolences to the family and all that. My attention's been a little bit like recently, obviously since they found the body. Until the body wasn't found, I was more or less thinking about her and the family and all that. Yeah. But like recently, I've been thinking about like the media coverage part of it, and it's like my question right when it happened even was like, how do these certain stories become so big when like it's gonna sound fucked up? In reality, this shit is nonstop happening. Yeah. So it's like
that is very true.
Why do we know Gabby's name, but not like 20,000 others? No, and of course There's been the spin that it's always the missing white girl motive.
Yes, that's exactly the point I was going to say because that is a narrative that gets thrown out a lot. Yeah. And the fact her skin color does play a big role into this. The reason why she's a household name.
I completely understand media bias. And I'm not going to act blind to it, and I understand that's the way things work. And I'm not going to dive too deep into it because like we said earlier in the podcast, we're not going to get too political. We do bring up political-based things, obviously, but my thing is just like when you're in the media and all that, like I even understand that like there's always you want a need for the unusual, and sadly getting killed is not unusual on its own anymore. You kind of need that extra detail, like how you said, like, oh, the whole you're on a road trip, then you just come back and not say anything. Like that's the unusual part that catches people's eye, you know. So I understand that's kind of what they were doing.
But like, you see, like, even the thing with that, like, there's this kind of like disappearance of humans happens all the time. Yeah. Like human trafficking is still going on. Unfortunately, and sad shit like that. Like, obviously, we won't get into it. That's happening in another part of the world. But
we might get into it in a later podcast, but not just
maybe in a later podcast, but not this episode. And so it's crazy to think that all that shit's going on. Obviously, Gabby Petito happened to be the one that got big and blown up this morning. But like you said, to your point, I mean, this shit happens all the time. Sadly. Yeah,
sadly, it happens all the time. My one piece of advice for everyone is anytime you see any of those missing or type of shit, just retweet it because you never know who's going to be the next Gabby who you need someone editing their video to help them find the body or potentially them alive.
Yeah.
Always retweet those just because you never know the weird connections you have. So that's our little tidbit on that for today. But R.I.P. to Gabby.
Rest in peace, Gabby.
Condolences to the family again. We always hate to hear those stories. And media, do better. We're joining the media doing this type of shit, so we're going to do better.
So we got to do our part as well so that we're part of the media. But it is a very big part that... Well, I've said media like maybe like 20 times in the last sentence, but
it's a buzzword.
The media is a big part in it, and they have to do better at covering all types of stories that related to shit like this. Not just make it exclusive to, you know, like how you just said, like the missing white woman.
The missing white. I believe the trend. It's called like it's like missing white girl syndrome.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think syndrome is in there somewhere. But yeah, basically that's that.
Sorry for the damper end on the day. But that was a story we did want to talk about. Just give
I was expecting to end this with
on it. No, I wasn't projecting to go from Michael Jackson to that, but we're not going to shy away from any conversations here at the Papis. We're smart people. We're empathetic people, so we're never really going to say anything too crazy. Like you don't have to worry about us coming on here and like absolutely defaming anyone or anything like that. So or defacing. I don't know. Is defaming a word? Defacing.
Yeah, defaming is a word. I think defacing is also a word. I don't know which one you want to use there. But
yeah, sometimes I forget vocabulary. I know those are real words.
Yeah. As long as we're not English majors, so that shit fucking doesn't matter.
Nope. So English majors, shout out to you.
I couldn't do it though. Like
if you're an English major, make our language easier. That's my challenge to you.
How do you change the entire language though?
Yeah, I don't know. That's why they're majoring in it.
I see, but I couldn't be able to do that. Like I can't write papers all the fucking time. Like, I would rather deal with, like, all this math and physics shit than having to write a fucking paper every week.
Hey, that's why I'm saying, man, everybody does their own thing.
Nah, I can't do that shit.
Shout out to the people who can. I mean, there's people who are watching, listening. Like, I don't know how you go on a camera and talk and put it on the internet.
Yeah, that is true. Fair point.
So everyone's got their talents and their interests, Mr. Doozy.
Mr. Joseph Longo.
But we're going to cut this off about here. Yep. We're not hitting a wall in terms of timing. We're just pretty much ending it. And
so I mean, we started this segment because we were just going to kind of wrap it up and close it out. And then it ended up being this kind of conversation.
We like to talk.
We do. We do like to talk. But let's not ramble on even more than that.
No.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Champaign Papis. We talked about a lot of things, a lot of interesting things.
That's right.
Let us know about any other topics you want to hear from. Leave them in the comments below. If you have us on the socials, hit us up.
Yep.
Speaking of socials,
the channel has social media now. Go follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I don't know where else I need to go.
I think for right now that should be fine. The links are going to be down below. Everything's going to be there. Follow us there so you can stay in tune, stay up to date.
We have a logo.
Why you have to say it?
Because it's funny. It
is funny, but
this is going on the Instagram, right?
Yeah, you've probably seen our logo on. Now it's going to be down there on the YouTube, but yeah. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Tune in to next week's episode of the podcast. We're gonna be this is gonna be a weekly thing.
Yep.
And until next time, have a good one.
Stay hydrated.
Facts.
Fuck SeaWorld.
Fuck SeaWorld.